what's up guys, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be taking a look at what is the best assault rifle in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. We're going to be having a look at every assault rifle with tons of gameplay as well as their epic weapon variants, which is a whole new addition to Infinite Warfare, which is going to be really exciting and mix everything up. But let's get into it. First up, we have the R3k Assault Rifle, which is the 3-round burst assault rifle in Infinite Warfare, where the official description says it's a 3-round burst energy rifle. It's not a ballistic rifle, where each burst applies extreme stopping power at precise intervals. Now, the reason I love this sort of gun is because I've always kind of been drawn to those sort of assault rifles, like the M8 Carbine, the M16 from COD 4, which is back in COD 4 Remastered. That gun is like the best gun in Call of Duty history, I think. It's been my favorite weapon I've ever used, just because you could just one burst people across the map and you just felt like an absolute beast. Now, from what I've used of the R3k so far, it is nowhere near as good as the M16 was back in the COD 4 days. However, it is a pretty decent assault rifle, and it's also the only burst assault rifle that we know is available so far in Infinite Warfare. So I'm gonna give it some love. However, I found myself taking most people out in 1 to 2 bursts. I would definitely recommend using stock on it and quick draw, and then a red dot sight. It's kind of standard assault rifle setups. You don't need to put a grip or anything on there. But the thing that got me really excited about this gun is actually seeing the weapon variant that's going to be available called Wrecked, because it's going to turn it from a burst assault rifle to a fully automatic, which is going to be monstrous because it's just going to be able to deal so much damage. Because think about that amount of damage per bullet, but assault, like, it's just going to be insane. Oh, and not only that, it also has stockpile as a weapon perk, which increases the gun's ammo, which stacks with extended mag, so you can have like 60 bullets in a magazine. It's insane. So the next assault rifle that we're going to take a look at is actually the gun that I've used the most in Infinite Warfare so far. It's the weapon that I managed to get the 100 kill gameplay with on my channel, and that's the NV4. The official description for this weapon is a full auto ballistic rifle with a moderate fire rate that yields increased stability for best in class accuracy, ideal for mid to long range engagements. Now, the one thing that I can definitely say about this weapon, and I even said it's one of the best weapons I've ever used in Call of Duty, is it is incredibly accurate. It's almost got no recoil whatsoever. You don't have to run grip on it. You don't have to do anything else to kind of like do controlled bursts to kind of make sure your bullets are going. It's pretty much a laser beam, very similar to like the ACR back in MW3, the M4 Carbine, and then like the M25 in Black Ops 2 as well. Really enjoyed using it. I would recommend going with quick draw stock. You don't need to run any sort of sights on it because the iron sight is actually really nice. From what I personally found though, if you want to, you can go ahead and you can throw like a red dot or an elo sight, something along those lines. But the big thing I'd recommend is make sure you keep every single fight that you're ever in with this weapon to medium to long range, because every time I came up against a submachine gun up close, it just doesn't have the stopping power behind it to help you win that engagement, especially if they're kind of like, if you're like on par skill wise, 9 times out of 10 they're going to beat you. However, long range, if you just sit on those long lanes, you can just rack up a ridiculous amount of kills. It's really fun to use. Sadly, however, we have yet to really see any of the awesome weapon variants for the NV4. We've seen one, which is the rare variant, which, if I'm being completely honest, is not very good. It's called Vigilance and has the weapon perk Sharpshooter, which increases damage range, which means that you're able to do more damage at a longer range. However, the assault rifle, the NV4, is already incredible at medium to long range. You don't really need that much of an advantage against any other weapons other than a sniper, of course, because that's just going to take you out in one shot. So I was a bit kind of disappointed so far, but I'm really excited to see what the epic variant is. I think it would really benefit from having the weapon perk Heavy Hitter, which doubles the weapon's damage but lowers the fire rate, because the main thing about the NV4 is it has almost no recoil whatsoever, and most guns which have a high firepower tend to have quite a bit of recoil because they're really hard to control to kind of make up for that. However, if it got Heavy Hitter, it would have everything you could possibly want from an assault rifle. You'd be able to take people from long distance without having to worry about recoil. It would have a slower fire rate, yes, but it'd kind of make it a bit like the Remington was in Call of Duty Ghosts. But fingers crossed that we get to have something really cool with the MV4. Now, the next assault rifle that we're going to be taking a look at is one that I think a lot of you are going to be super excited for, because it is the perfect dream weapon for a lot of assault rifle players who also like to run and gun, and that is the Cabe R32. The official description for this weapon says that it is a full auto ballistic rifle which channels a fast fire rate through a lightweight mold for increased hip fire control and mobility. Now, some of you may be wondering, why am I going to love this gun so much? Well, first of all, the fire rate, because it is absolutely ridiculous. Think BAL 27 from Advanced Warfare, one of the highest fire rates that you could ask for, and I think that's one of the things that I love so far about the kind of assault rifles within Infinite Warfare. Each single one has their own individual characteristic and personality, and what's great about the Cabe R, pretty much it's got a big magazine size, super high fire rate, so if a load of people are running at you, you can just spray and pray, and the odds are you're going to hit a few and take them out, which is pretty cool. But the biggest thing about the Cabe R32 is the mobility. Now, its mobility rating is higher than any other assault rifle and makes it closer to submachine guns, meaning that if you want to run and gun, you can have the option to do that. It's perfect for winning those medium to kind of short range engagements because of that super high fire rate, and if you're running quick draw as well, you can get your gun up quickly from running around and win those gunfights against other assault rifle players fairly easily and have a bigger chance of beating submachine gun players. We've also been lucky enough to see the Cabe R32's epic weapon variant called Invective that's going to be available in Infinite Warfare. It has 2 weapon perks, the first being Jawbreaker, which gives you bonus headshot damage, but also reduces damage done to the legs, which means that if you're using this weapon to hip fire a lot and kind of run and gun, it means if you're not kind of aiming down your sight and making sure that you're aiming for the top body, you're not going to be able to pick up as many kills and you're probably going to lose a fair amount of gunfights. So it's kind of a pro and con version, which a lot of the weapons that we've seen so far all seem to be pros. You also gain stability, which reduces your weapon recoil and stacks with foregrip, which means that you can pretty much make the Cabe R32 a laser beam, especially at long range, so you can just pick anyone across the map. It's going to be insane. Next up, we've got one of the most unique weapons to Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. There's never been a gun like this in any Call of Duty before, and that's the Type 2 Assault Rifle. First of all, it's not a ballistic assault rifle, which means it doesn't shoot real physical bullets. It's an energy assault rifle, so it's kind of shoots some form of energy, I'm guessing. But the great benefit with this is that it means that if you manage to kill someone in 2 or 3 bullets, you don't have to think about reloading. Its ammo will replenish automatically, which is pretty cool, especially if you run out of ammo completely. You can just sit in a corner and it will refill your magazine. However, the most unique thing about the Type 2 Assault Rifle is its ability to split into dual akimbo SMGs, very similar to the FMGs for Modern Warfare 3, though not as overpowered. Now, what's also about this is normally when you're playing as an assault rifle on a map which has got this huge range of different line of sights, from long range to kind of really close up when you go into corridors and stuff like that, you just wouldn't think about going there with an assault rifle. But because you can split your assault rifle into these 2 akimbo SMGs, you can go wherever you like and dominate any section of the map. Because if you know you're going to run into a group of people in a really small corridor, you can just flip to the SMGs and you know you've got a really good chance of winning the gunfight, which will allow you to get those really high gun streaks and score streaks that you're trying to get. It's a lot of fun to use, and the great thing with this gun as well is I find it doesn't feel really weak when you come up against other assault rifles. If someone's using like the NV4 or the Cabe R, you feel like you've got a decent chance of beating them in the gunfight instead of just being able to walk over. You're not suffering because you have that ability to swap to an up-close weapon with the dual SMGs. However, we also have seen the epic weapon variant for this gun, which is pretty damn cool. It's called the Butcher, and it's got these 2 weapon perks, the first being 87, which then changes the fire mode, so they're akimbo shotguns instead of SMGs. So if you like shotguns and you're not really a big fan of SMGs, I was kind of started thinking about the models from like Modern Warfare 2. Fingers crossed. Imagine if they were that powerful. Actually, no. Let's not hope they're that powerful. But it's pretty cool to have shotguns. You then also get the weapon perk Readiness, which allows you to reload faster when the clip is empty, which stacks with Dexterity, which is this game's sleight of hand. So it means that you're going to be able to reload your gun ridiculously quickly, whether you're using the assault rifle version or the shotgun version. So it's going to be a pretty awesome weapon to use. It's pretty strong. It's pretty cool that you can kind of mix it up so you're good at close range and long range. Definitely give this weapon a go when you get the chance. And now it's time for the final assault rifle that I managed to get my hands on, which I personally think is going to become a huge fan favorite because it resembles the AK-47 from previous games. It's called the Volk, and its official description says it's a full auto energy rifle which deploys a best-in-class stopping power at a low, dependable fire rate. Now, my personal experience with this gun was incredible because it was the first weapon that I managed to get a quad feed with, which made me incredibly happy. And every single situation that I seemed to get in with this weapon, I seemed to come out on top. I was able to beat SMGs just because of the sheer power of this gun. It could kill people in 3 to 4 bullets consistently, which for an automatic assault rifle is pretty insane. Now, the downside with the Volk, however, is that it does have a smaller magazine size compared to the rest of the assault rifles in Infinite Warfare. It's got 28 bullets in a clip, which though it's lower than everything else, it does have a low fire rate, so it's not really that big of a deal. Think the Remington from Call of Duty Ghosts. It only had 24 bullets, however, it was hands down the best assault rifle in the game just because you could kill people so quickly because of the power of the gun. Now, for the Volk, I would totally recommend using quick draw and stock, which are kind of my base attachments for any assault rifle in Call of Duty, and then I would throw a grip on there as well just to kind of help control the recoil. Because it's so powerful, it does have a fair amount of kick, especially if you're trying to take people out at a long range. It just makes the gun an absolute beast. And then throw either a red dot sight or an ELO sight, depending on what your personal preference is. And you've probably noticed that in every assault rifle that we've gone through so far, there's not been a single shot option until you see the epic weapon variant for the Volk, which kind of gives you a huge idea of what they could potentially do with weapon variants, which is pretty damn cool to give us so many choices. It's called the Goliath, and it's got this weapon perk called Spike, which deals increased damage for the gun, but fires 1 bullet at a time, meaning we've got our single shot assault rifle with the Volk, which is pretty damn cool. It's also got focus on it as well, which will reduce idle sway while aiming down sights, which means that it's going to help at taking people down at a long distance, which is pretty damn cool. It's going to be an absolute monstrous gun. It's probably my favorite that I've used so far. But now it's time to decide what is the best assault rifle so far in Infinite Warfare. So there we have it. We've seen some gameplay from every single assault rifle in Infinite Warfare so far, and I'm genuinely struggling to figure out which is the best one. I've got a couple personal favorites. I think the Volk is absolutely incredible, especially the base weapon. I think it's going to be a huge fan favorite, especially when we get our hands on that single shot, which I'm just going to fall in love with, especially if you've got a quick trigger finger. It's going to be incredible. Also, the Cabe R, if you're a run and gun player, is going to be awesome. But I genuinely think the best gun so far has got to be the MV4. It's super accurate. It's got a really good time to kill, and I just love it. I just absolutely love it. I love the sound of it. It helped me get the 100 kill game, which if you haven't checked out, I'll leave a link to in the description below. But also let me know what you think's the best gun, and also subscribe if you're new to the channel and drop a thumbs up, and we'll see you guys next time.